All right, ladies and gentlemen, number 23, the big 2-3. Um, Austin Ollie, Sports Podcast.
You heard?
Um, yeah, I think there was football this weekend. I'm not too sure. We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
There's football. We're gonna introduce something else because it's kind of a downtime right now because it's just playoffs, and if your team's not in it, then I mean we're still watching, but it just hurts a little bit still. It's called the Big Three. We're gonna branch out into three different topics that can be from everything and everything. You'll find out today, here soon, what those will consist of. If we have time, we'll get to some NBA stuff, some Dallas Mavericks stuff. There's some trade rumors, allegedly, of who will be trying to acquire at the trade deadline since it's coming up kind of soon. And a little bit on the Mavs and how they've been playing, this and that. And nothing too crazy today. Nothing too crazy. I know we kind of went on a rampage last week, and you guys crushed it. You guys crushed it on everything. So appreciate you guys whenever you guys listen to on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts,
YouTube.
and obviously, YouTube, Instagram, Austin_and_Ollie, TikTok, Austin Ollie, and YouTube, obviously Austin Ollie. So, how was your weekend, brother?
That was good. Got a cut. If you're on the YouTube, you can check the long hair's gone. Hey, come on. Yeah, I got a cut, but other than that, not too much, man. I felt like I was depressed this weekend. You know, weather wasn't great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cowboys weren't playing like we thought they were going to. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty boring. You know, just chilled though. It was nice. It was a nice, relaxing weekend. Just kind of hung out, slept in. I know, kind of the opposite of what you did. Yours was a little bit more fun than mine for sure.
I guess you could say that. I don't mind staying at home sometimes. It is nice. So Friday night just went out with some friends, chilled, nothing too crazy. Saturday, what did I do Saturday all day? Well, I went to the gym. Me and Raul go to the gym, and I go to a gym like 30 minutes away from here because it's on the way back from work. Okay. Like if it's on the weekend, obviously I'm not fucking going to the gym. It's 30 minutes away.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
But Raul's like, I can pick you up if you can get me in. I was like, yeah, sure, come on, let's do it. We're on the way there. This big ass fire truck in front of the gym, and I'm just like, fuck.
Eesh.
Like, what the fuck happened? Try to get in. It's like, nah, man, not today. And I was like, what? He said the electricity went out. I was like, oh, okay. Oh. So I drove like 30 minutes out that way to. This is what happens when you try to go work out on a Saturday. I mean, you just shouldn't do that. You should just stop. But there's like an LA Fitness across the street. We signed up for like a 3-day pass. I was like, all right, fuck, let's go.
Easy. Yeah.
So that was that Saturday. And then chilled. I had a bunch of family over. And I mean, I was just drinking since like probably like 7 or 8.
That's
and
crazy.
Then Raul was like, hey bro, we're gonna go to 01. Like, I don't care which plans, we're going to 01. It's like, okay, never been. I needed a fit, so I only had like 2 things that were mine, that had my name on it: my underwear and my shirt. Everything else that was on me was not mine.
Hey, you getting ready for Halloween?
Boots were my sister's boyfriend's.
Okay.
Pants, I took them off my uncle literally at the function.
No,
I was like,
way.
I don't have boot cut pants. Like, I just,
yeah, it's fair.
I don't like all my pants fit me like fucking skinny jeans. I just got some fat ass legs. Like, what can I say? And I looked at him, and he looked at me. He's like, bro, like, I'll give you mine if you give me something. I said, fine, fuck it. Took them hoes off, put them on. I said, aight.
We
put a little button up, Patagonia on top, you know.
Okay, so you're ready to go.
We went out there, you know. Dancing norteñas all night. That shit was packed, bro. I had never been before.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Bro, it's fucking insane. I feel like you'd love it. You got to go.
I bet.
We'll gotta go in time. It was like, but yeah, I got home like at 5 in the morning.
That's crazy to me.
Because, bro, so they tell me, it's like, bro, they don't close till 3. It's coming 3. I'm like, okay, it's time to go. Music's still bumping, bro. It's 3:15, 3:20. It's bumping, and I'm just like, dude.
I'm ready to go to bed.
And then finally, like 4 o'clock, and like we finally leave, and then someone goes, "Oh, let's go get Waffle House," and I'm like, dude, I want to go home.
Hey, Waffle House is the slap, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not a big fan of Waffle House.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think it's overrated as fuck.
I mean, I don't think it's. In my opinion, you just gotta know what it is. It's like awful waffle. That's what it's called, you know. So like, it's not good.
You tell me you crave that shit?
No, I don't crave it, but it's nice after a night of drinking. Little waffle, eggs, bacon, hash brown, toast.
I'd rather go to IHOP.
All-Star special. Nah. No shot.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I'd rather
crazy.
go to Waffle House over
I'm going
IHOP.
to IHOP any other day, if I'm being honest.
IHOP's like overpriced. I feel like Waffle House got the perfectly good price. The All-Star special's like
Yeah,
$8.99.
they are cheap. They're cheap. You're right.
And it's like it's
But
a
yeah,
good vibe.
then,
You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. No, dude, I actually had the full experience. Some girl was yelling at some guy. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
they were yelling at, and I was just like, and Raul was staring hard as fuck. I was like, bro, mind your damn business, or you're gonna fucking get shot or something.
That's how you get shot.
Yeah, so I was like, dude, he was literally
you gotta.
They're like talking back that way. If you're on the YouTube, he's like talking back that way, and he's literally like, it's like behind him, so he's turning his whole like neck, like his back and everything.
you gotta do the whole like, just like stretch the back.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. No, he was not slick about it. He was just straight on. I said, Raul, bro, eat your damn food, bro. Stop looking over there. Fuck. But yeah, so that, and I didn't get home till like 5, and then I was trying to sleep forever, obviously, because that's my weekends. I want to sleep because then I have to wake up early to go to work during the week. And then I
just
on the
gotta pick
couch.
it. Literally, just gotta pick at the fit right now. Fit goes crazy.
What pick did you get? Hey, yo. If you're on the YouTube, bro, I'm looking clean, bro. I had was that the course?
And check the
the
course.
Yeah,
the
dude, I was living the American
YouTube,
dream.
That's the exclusive YouTube.
Yeah, that's exclusive for free, guys. Go on YouTube and you can see my crazy fit that I had on that you'll probably never, ever see me wear again in your life.
Nah, don't say that.
But all my friends were saying they all said I looked good. I was like, hey, bro, you actually you thought you were gonna look weird, but you look good. And I was like, hey, I appreciate that. I was like, I felt weird just because I never wear shit like that at all.
Yeah. Once you wear it more, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah, like my mom was thinking that my my feet were gonna get like tired the next day, but like I feel fine. Like I wasn't.
Nah, good boots are pretty comfortable. Like.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
No, that's a cool weekend. I guess we can go ahead and get in NFL. Nice little divisional round. So Saturday the first 2 games was Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens, and then Green Bay at San Francisco. Baltimore ended up taking that 34-10. I think they went in the half at 10-10, and then Lamar just kind of started going crazy. I thought that Houston had a shot to do the upset, but I think that this kind of just shows how well oiled Baltimore is. I mean, Lamar's playing out of his mind. I mean, he had I think he had 100 yards rushing and 2 tuds. Not to mention, I think he had like 180 or so yards throwing the ball, and I think another 2 tuds.
Yeah, he had 150 in the air, 2 tutties, and then 2 rushing tutties and 100 rushing yards.
Yeah, that's going to be. I mean, it's not like crazy stats on throwing the ball, but rushing the ball, like when your quarterback can do that, I think that's going to be a big game changer. And then on the defensive side, like to hold Houston to 10 points. I mean, CJ Stroud has had a great year. Obviously, they're missing some guys. They're missing Tank Dell. Are they missing Nico Collins still? I don't remember off the top of my head.
No, he was playing.
But yeah, like still, I mean, Houston's a good team, really good offense, and to be able to hold them to 10, I think is pretty impressive. So I think Baltimore just kind of, especially coming off the bye too, I think that Baltimore kind of shows like, hey, like, you know, there was the chance for complacency to come in off the bye, you know, maybe being a little bit rusty. And I think Lamar even sat out that last game in week 18 too. So he hadn't played in almost 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So definitely good to show like, hey, Russ wasn't there. He was ready to go. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I think about it. What do you think?
I definitely think I saw, if you watched the game, I saw Dalton Schultz drop like 2 balls, and I was so happy. I was just like, yep, that's Dalton Schultz for you. Driving 2 balls just straight at him. He led the team in, or at least receptions. I don't know, he wasn't even close to yards, but still, yeah, I mean, it was close, like you said. It was just like, damn, are they really going to keep it this close? In my head, I'm just like, damn. Not that specifically Lamar Jackson, but just like the Ravens just can't. They're just known for having a bad playoff record with Lamar, at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, once I saw 10-10, I was like, dude, like they have a chance. And I think it just shows like the inexperience and how young this team is, and how many veterans and are just like the veteran presence with the Ravens defense and the Ravens offense. in their run game is just insane, dude. You have Lamar, you have
Justice Hill,
Gus Edwards. And, I mean, they have Dalvin Cook. That's insane.
Yeah, just coming off. Yeah.
Yeah, like you win the game and Lamar only throws for 150 yards.
That's how you win. That's how you win for pick six. Like,
yeah, just take care of the football. That's how you play. That's how you're supposed to play. I mean, easier said than done. But also, I just love how Lamar just knows when to go down in most cases. Unlike Josh Allen, where, I mean, yeah, he's a big boy, but like, I mean, you even heard it with them. I mean, I'm going to say this name, and you probably forgot about him, but Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
I mean, he got hurt this year, but because he was, I mean, he's a dual threat like that. I mean, obviously bigger than Lamar, obviously more athletic build, and he was trying to take advantage of it. But even, I forgot who it was. I think one of the games was like, after the game as a quarterback, and he was like, dude, just take care of yourself. Might have been Trevor Lawrence. I forgot who it was.
Yeah.
But, right? And then he was just like, hey, dude, just take care of yourself. Like, I mean, yeah, it's cool that you're running and stuff, but just know when to go down. And I think Lamar and other guys like Tyler Lockett, if you see videos, there's like a whole like montage of like a minute and a half of like just diving. And it's like, dude, he's saving so much years of life and years in the NFL. So, yeah, props to Lamar doing that. Obviously, he's dealt with some injuries too. So I was one of those guys, or still one of those guys, kind of joke around that Lamar isn't a quarterback. He's a running back, which can still, like, I mean, you can attest to that. I mean, it's still right, but it's winning damn football games. Am I cheering for him to win the Super Bowl? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad they were to get the job done. And everyone's talking about what Lamar said at halftime because he just looked pissed waiting for them at the tunnel. He's just like, why is it 10-10? And they went out and shut them out 24-0 in the second half.
Yeah.
So, yeah, props to
that's what you need, man.
The flock.
Yep. Yeah. Moving along, Saturday night was Green Bay at San Francisco 49ers. San Fran wins a close one, 24-21. Some notable stats here. I know Jordan Love kind of at the end of the game had a chance with the ball. Just threw a stupid interception just way across the field.
Across his body, dude.
Which ends up losing the game for them. Aaron Jones just continued showing out, 18 for 108 yards on the ground. Had a 53-yard run, though, so that's kind of where most of those yards came. Romeo Doubs was the leading receiver for Green Bay at 4 receptions for 83 yards. And then on the 49ers side, again, just another team that's not turning the ball over. Brock Purdy, 250 yards passing, 1 TD, no interceptions. Christian McCaffrey, 98 yards, 2 tuds on the ground. Just stuff like that, man. It's efficient football. I'm not a 49ers fan in the slightest. I just am obviously kind of annoyed with them and how the Cowboys have obviously fared against them in the last few years. But I mean, they're playing winning football, which is like kind of sucks. And there's so much like Brock Purdy like bias or agenda, I guess you could say. But man, they're doing it when it matters, and they're winning ball games. I mean, 2 TDs on the ground, no turnovers for them. So I mean, like I said last week, right? Like teams that are winning this turnover margin are winning ball games, and that's kind of proven to be shown these last both of those games so far. So, any thoughts on this game? What you think? Did you catch it or not? So on and so forth.
Yeah, it was I was just glad it was a close game. I think every single game was close except for that Ravens game.
Yep.
It was just more so. I don't know if I was more excited to watch and be like, okay, let's see if Green Bay is legit or if the Niners are that big of a powerhouse. I mean, you saw Deebo Samuel go out, and then the offense kind of stalled for a little bit. Brock Purdy really didn't look too great, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And then everyone's just talking about him leading that final drive, this and that. But, I mean, I think the whole media knows that Brock Purdy isn't that guy.
I don't know.
I'm kind of happy.
I don't know if they do, though. Because I feel like...
Well, at least the unprofessional side of Twitter, the ones that matter, not like the analysts and stuff.
Okay.
Like the people that have less than like 1,000 followers. And the average Joes know.
He's not.
That's the only
fraudulent.
thing that matters. I don't give a fuck about no analysts. That's all that matters. So I'm glad. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that I'm not a Brock Purdy hater because I am a Brock Purdy hater. I think that it's easy. I mean, I don't know. You could say it too with the Cowboys, right? Like when you have all these weapons, when you have Deebo, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, really good offensive line, great defense. Like, you should be winning games, and he's so far like doing it. I will be curious to see if, whenever they play the Lions, or maybe if they make it to the Super Bowl, if he has to make a game-winning drive, is he capable of doing so? Will he do it? I don't know. I mean, and it needs to be relied on him and him throwing the ball, not just kind of taking what the defense gives you, but just kind of actually making a play. So curious to see if that ever comes. I don't think it has yet, but we'll see.
And then one more is just J Love was playing pretty good. So it was just good and bad thing that we have to go through and witness that for a long period of time in the NFC. Maybe another guy we have to worry about now.
Yeah, of course.
He just started turning it up after that, and then he had one lucky interception that got deflected. And then just that last one is just, man, unexplainable. It's just
you're trying to
textbook
make a play.
Football. Yeah, but I mean, you have so much time, and there's no need for that. But he was just trying to play hero ball. I mean, and then again, like I said last week, he was cool, calm, and collected every time on the sideline. When it was close or when they were up, they were right there the whole time. And he was just he was fine. And then he just tried to do a little bit more than he was supposed to, and that's what happens. So I don't know if it kind of eases up or heals the wound a little bit better now that they were able to put a fight at San Francisco, but it still doesn't explain or have any excuses on why you got absolutely obliterated at home by them. But
no, I think that if anything, I mean, it maybe makes the validity of Green Bay a little bit better, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it just doesn't excuse the Cowboys laying an egg on the biggest stage of the season, and is what it is, man. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Moving along, Sunday afternoon, Tampa Bay at Detroit. Detroit ends up winning 31-23. If I'm correct, the Bucks end up having a chance with like a minute and a half or a minute 50 or so left to go to drive down the field, tie it up. I wasn't really watching the game. I had it on, and then I saw like you guys were texting and stuff like that about, all right, like let's see what Baker got. So I like turned it on or turned the volume up. I walked away for a second, and then I walked back, and the Lions were celebrating an interception. So
it was your fault.
Yeah, I guess it was my fault. But either way, obviously Baker Mayfield throws an interception, minute and a half or so left to go in the game. It was a pretty bad throw. It just looked like he was under pressure though.
It was again trying to do
too much.
It wasn't as superhero as Jordan Love. But it was definitely him thinking that he can make that window, and then it was just tough. But again, it was something that he didn't have to go. He didn't have to do that. He definitely could have thrown it away or something else. But again, that time and moment, it's easier just for us to lay back and say, hey, you should have done that, you should have done this. But I mean, he had almost 250 yards and was so close to get to an NFC Championship before Dak Prescott. And I just don't know what I could have done after that. I was rooting for the guy, but once I saw people talking about it and just throwing it out there that Baker Mayfield could be in the NFC Championship before Dak Prescott, I said, oh, put it like that.
Okay, also, the Cowboys, or not the Cowboys, the Lions were 0-16 this century and then made it to an NFC Championship before the Cowboys did.
There's only been two teams, I think. I don't know if since it's 2000 or since the last time the Cowboys made it. There's only been two teams that haven't made it to a AFC NFC Championship, and it's the Cowboys and the Commanders.
That sucks. Have the Texans? The Texans have? I guess they did with Deshaun back when Deshaun was.
Or maybe
was
NFC
balling.
Championship.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. If it's NFC,
no, I don't think the Texans have made it to AFC because I forgot they're in the AFC. Yeah, maybe NFC side.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, it's tough, right? Man. I think I saw something too that I think
the Browns
was like
haven't.
the Browns haven't.
I
think it was that it was like sports teams in DFW, and it was like years since reaching a conference final. And it was like obviously the Stars and the Rangers 0, Mavs 1 year or 2 years or whatever it is, and then Rangers 28, which is sad. It's unfortunate.
So sad. I'd hate to be a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, you and me both. But some big standouts from Detroit and Tampa. Obviously Baker 350 or so. Mike Evans had a big day, 147 yards and a tud.
That was about to get paid.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid. Jahmyr Gibbs, 9 carries for 74 yards. It's a whopping 8.2 yards a carry, which is unreal. 1 TD on the ground to go with 4 receptions for 40 yards. So, I mean, total 110, 115 yards and a tud on 13 touches. It's a good day at the office. I love Detroit. I think that they're gritty, they're dirty. They kind of embody Detroit, I feel like. Obviously, I mean, Jared Goff gets really no praise and no love. But I think when it comes to doing what he's asked, it's the same with Brock Purdy, right? Like, they're not doing too much. He's not turning the ball over. I think he had He had 287 yards, 2 tuds, no interceptions. Again, the team that does it, that wins the turnover battle, wins the game. Tampa had 2 turnovers, which were Baker interceptions, and no turnovers for Detroit. So it just kind of shows, like, you protect the ball, you're going to win these football games, especially in these clutch time moments. So like to see what Detroit does, and really hope that, I don't know, I mean, maybe if they can make it to the Super Bowl, I'd like that. And I don't know if I'm going to pick it, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, that's tough. I think it's not even close next week, if I'm being honest, with the Lions and Niners.
Yeah, I could see it.
It's a 6.5 point spread. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just like,
I don't know.
There's not a lot of people on that team that have playoff experience, I don't think. And
yeah,
they're improving, and they're a great team. Obviously, I mean, they played the Cowboys, so I probably should have beat them. But still, I mean,
yeah,
it's interesting to say the least, to see how it goes. I mean, I'm tuned in. I'll be watching that. I hope that they have a shot, but I mean, obviously, right? You never know.
I hope so too. I want the Lions to win. I don't want the Niners to go to the Super Bowl because I just don't.
Yeah.
So I definitely want the Lions to get in there. I mean, I know there's kind of this somewhat, I guess you could say, beef between us now because of the whole controversy with the call and stuff like that, and they were being very cringy with it.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
I'll allow it. I'd rather definitely see them in the Super Bowl than. And it'd be crazy to see Jared Goff go to another Super Bowl too. The whole last other team, where they just kind of told him that they didn't believe in him. They're just like, hey man, I just got to a Super Bowl, but I just don't think you could win it. And I mean, they went and got Stafford, and they won with him. So this could be the most even trade, I guess, for both teams.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of crazy to think about, and to put that in perspective too is pretty impressive. So
yeah.
Cool. And then the last NFL game of the week was Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are finally the second playoff team to lose at home behind the Cowboys. Chiefs won 27-24. The Bills missed a field goal pretty close, not as time was expiring, but towards the end of the game. That kind of changes the momentum of the game. Mahomes 215 with 2 tuds. Josh Allen, the game manager, 186 yards, 1 tud, 72 yards on the ground. So definitely was a back and forth game. It was a close game. Do you have any thoughts on this one? Anything to say?
Yeah, a lot of things on the definitely didn't think they should have gone for it, or the fake punt, especially with DeMar Hamlin. But I mean,
that was
they were on the pin of their own 30
5 too. Yeah, it was
4th and 5, pin in their own 30, and then they do that crap, and they get lucky because they have that fumble by Mecole Hardman that ends up being a touchback. So you see how they're thinking about reviewing that play.
That's such a dumb.
I think it's totally fine. Like, the rule is fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
should get punished for fumbling. Yeah, just don't fumble the ball.
Yep.
It's happening a lot more often than you think now recently, though.
Yeah.
So the only reason I was aware of that rule was because of it was Raiders Cowboys.
Yep.
I forgot how long ago, and it was Derek Carr.
Was it the one where they slid the paper in between
the? It was that game.
Yeah, it was like Jeff Heath, right?
Yeah.
Jeff Heath was the one that made the play.
Yeah, exactly. He shoved them in Derek Carr, like it was close, and he fumbled it, and it went out on the end zone. And then you saw it a couple of times this year. I mean, CD did it. From the top of my head, CD did it, and then Mecole Hardman did it. So they got lucky that they were able to get the ball back. And I think it was in that same, they were going down, they went for the field goal. And then again, I mean, yeah, he missed the field goal, but it was a minute and a half left. And there was more than enough time for Patrick Mahomes to get down to one of the top 3 kickers in the NFL to hit a field goal or to even get a touchdown. They hadn't stopped them all second half. They hadn't. The only time they got stopped was because they fumbled. Then they should have been a touchdown. Like, they should have scored off that. If Michael Harmon doesn't try and just hero ball again.
Do something crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's a bunch of what ifs. But yeah, Tyler Bass missed it. I can't even imagine. They just kept showing the camera on him and didn't want to take his helmet off. And I'm just like, fuck, dude.
That sucks.
It's gotta be tough because you're a kicker. I don't want to say that. I mean, it's an easy job, obviously, because I've been a kicker before, but in middle school, right? So I guess it's the same type of pressure as NFL kicker. But obviously playing soccer and stuff like that, and it's just like how people. I don't ever really shit on kickers. I personally don't, because obviously it's a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like a PK.
It's a tough gig. Yeah,
it's tough. Gig. It's tough. I mean, you're at home, and I remember I saw the wind. Like, you can see that top of the field goal post, how the wind's going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel for the man. I can't imagine how he's feeling even right now. Like, there's no way that I don't know how he slept last night. Probably didn't. It's tough. I mean, like I said, you look at it, and it's like you've been sitting the whole game, and you really only do have one job. And it sucks because if you fuck up, it's man.
Yeah, and I think that too. There's so many things that can go wrong in a kick. Like, you need the snap to be perfect. You need the hold to be right, and then obviously like it's windy there in Buffalo too. So you see it's just a big gust of wind that pushes it right. So you have to have a read on that, and if you don't have a read on it right, like, you're out of luck, and what's gonna happen happens. So
yeah.
Definitely tough, but that is, for the most part, I think, the divisional round. We got Baltimore against the Chiefs, which will be a good one. This is the first time in, I think, 5 or 6 years that the Chiefs aren't hosting the AFC Championship, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, it was Patrick Mahomes' first road game last week.
Yeah,
this past
crazy. Week. San Fran hosting Detroit. You wanted to do some quick picks really quick. Who do you think is going to make it to the Super Bowl?
It's going to be Ravens and Niners, I think. Even though we kind of knew that was going to happen with the script leak. But those are my picks right now. I would take Niners to cover 6.5. And I would take Kansas City plus 3.5.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good game. I'm definitely more excited about the Baltimore-Kansas City game.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
But it's hard not to pick. I think we both kind of talked about them. I think at the beginning of the playoffs when we had our suggestions for our picks for the postseason, I think that Baltimore and San Fran have just kind of looked like the 2 best teams all season. And I'm gonna ride with both of them as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's it for our NFL coverage. You ready to get to the big 3?
Get to the big 3. It's a little sad 3. A little sad one that we're going to talk about, I think. But
yeah.
Oh, you can go ahead, man. You can introduce us to this.
Yeah, so the first story in the big 3. So the big 3, obviously, right? 3 big storylines that we just kind of see around the sports world. First one kind of hits a little bit close to home is, shockingly, Mike McCarthy's returning to the Dallas Cowboys as their head coach. Obviously, in my opinion, was kind of a shock. I think that both of us thought that he was going to be gone. But I think the more that I thought about it, the more I was kind of okay with it. And the fact that I think that all the beat reporters were saying that, like, if we were going to do something, it was going to be a hire that the fans would not have liked, aka Bill Belichick, which I think would not have worked. And then 2, I think that this is as much of a true prove-it year as the Cowboys can get. McCarthy's contract expires after this next season. Dak has 1 year left on his deal. Obviously, CD, we don't want to lose CD or Micah, but their deals are getting ready to run out. And just a lot of guys like that, too, where it's like this is a prove-it year for everybody. And one, if you want to get paid, if you want to stay with the Cowboys, like, you have to do something. And I think that this is where the Cowboys are going to basically be like, all right, like, hey, like, you're fighting for your job this season. Like, you have to do something. Have to at least get to the NFC Championship, or you have to make the Super Bowl or something. So, I guess it's from a player standpoint. The players are excited. It looks like. I mean, I think I saw Jake Ferguson tweet that he was
Jake
pumped for him to return.
Ferguson. I forgot who else. It might have been
Wanye
Jaron
Thomas.
Or Wanye Thomas too. Yeah, they're ecstatic that he was coming back.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, definitely let down. But like I said, I mean, you have to find some. I mean, I at least find some sort of optimism in it. So I don't know. I mean, a little bit of maybe like second year with play caller, Dak takes another step or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's the only way you can think about it. But you just kind of have to hope that we make some change to the defensive side of the ball, because I think that it's time for Dan Quinn's time in Dallas to be over, and hopefully he just takes a head coaching job and just gets out of town.
Yeah, I was sitting in my. Was it Friday when it got announced? I think it was Friday, right?
Yeah, it was like Thursday or Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just sitting there. I got the noti, the Schefter that he's staying, and I was just, man, immediately, me and my friends going crazy in the group chat, just this, that, fuck Jerry, fuck this, fuck that, it's crazy, insane. Like, you got blown out at home.
Yeah.
And you get to keep your job. So I can't wait to show up to my job one day and just not do what I was told, and have higher expectations of myself, and just go, hey, yeah, we're gonna keep you on for another year. Just keep your contract in. But like you said, the more and more that I think about it, it's not terrible.
I agree.
I mean, you look at the market. Maybe we were a little bit harsh right after it happened.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Maybe just a little. But I mean, I think it's okay. I'm okay with it. You had Dak's debatably his best year ever.
Yeah.
Best year ever under Mike McCarthy. And like you said, he's a player's coach. That's huge already. But maybe there's such thing as too much of a player's coach. I think that can happen. Yeah. Where you got to find people like to have the respect for that, and just know that what they're up for. Like, hold them accountable to what they're doing, and know that obviously that shit's unacceptable. And I mean, there's really no offseason. Like, you should be working right now to try and break that damn barrier curse. I don't even want to call it that. It's just, dude, you just put yourself in bad situations every time. You get your home field advantage that you wanted. That was almost impossible all year to do.
Yeah.
And you got it. And you shot the bed. I mean, you just shot the bed. There's no... Yeah. And then they might just bring back everyone and goes, yeah, let's get the team back together. I don't know if Dan Quinn even accepts the job and goes, you know what, fuck it, let's run it back for one more year. Or I don't know if that just affects any of his head coaching jobs, where he walked in there the next day, Monday, and they're just like, dude,
what the fuck was that?
You just gave a 41 at the cribbo. You were playing zone. You get the tight end on 3rd and 5, like 7 yards off of him. What was going on there, Stuff like that. So obviously it happened, and like you said, I was just thinking about it. They probably were going to pick something that wasn't going to... I mean, when are they ever going to satisfy us with anything, for being honest? I mean, we're going to be picky. Facts. We're going to be, beggars can't be choosers, but I mean, we're going to choose. So I want it to be more, like, obviously it's a make or break year, but I also want it to be almost like the Rams when they won their Super Bowl, and just say, fuck it, fuck everything. Trade however many picks you need.
To win.
Get over the salary cap. I don't care. Next year's next year, but if you win a Super Bowl ring, I don't care, to be honest. Obviously, who would care? And you look at the Rams, they quote-unquote rebuild for 2 years.
Yeah.
They won the Super Bowl, 2 years ago? Not this one, but the one before.
Yeah, it was 21, I think, that they won.
Yeah. And then, look at them. I mean, they got Kyron Williams. They got Puka Nacua somehow. They're looking fine. Obviously, there's still some holes in there, but shit, they went and won it all. But yeah, Jerry, prove us wrong. Go get us Stephon Diggs, Derrick Henry. I actually believe in Stephon Diggs coming here. I don't know about you, but I believe in that.
Stephon Diggs I would like that a lot.
That'd be insane. But so yeah, Mike McCarthy. You have 1 year. Dak Prescott, you're going to stay as the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys until you can't play. Which I'm not. I mean, I'm okay with it. Just show me a playoff gene.
Yeah.
I just need you to show me a playoff gene.
They're going to give Dak a deal, and he's going to be locked down for another year, a couple years. So, Anyway, but you want to move to the second of the big three?
Yeah. I forgot when this happened, but we were talking. I was somewhere and I saw Sports Illustrated was trending, and then on Twitter, everybody was talking about rest in peace Sports Illustrated, this and that. Everything was going out, and I was just like, damn, like what happened to Sports Illustrated? So I was looking into it, and it seems that there's no number yet, but they're gonna have like a lot of people laid off, like almost like the entire company was about to get laid off. Obviously I was a big, obviously still sports, but I never really purchased it or even had like a subscription for them. But definitely, you would go to the book fairs and you would see all these magazines, and I would just read them, pick them up. Now and then I'd buy one if my mom gave me the $20 to afford that. But I was going through, and obviously you see at grocery stores, you see like the Sports Illustrated with Corey Seager or with them winning, and it's like, can you take me higher, this and that, and then it's everything. It's just so iconic. It's been going on for so long, and you see everyone talking about it. Like as kids, I would beg for whoever to give me a subscription, and it was more so. I mean, that's the only thing you would like to read. I don't know about you, or if you guys are listening, hated reading. But if it consisted with sports, I was reading all of it. Like those Mike Lepica. The book, right? The author.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Him. Yeah. See all those. Exactly. So it's just, if you're sports, obviously been around sports, you know how you feel about this. So I can't imagine how it is for a true, like, it kind of makes me want to buy the Sports Illustrated pack of where all the Rangers stuff were for this year. Because I mean, God forbid. I mean, it doesn't say that they're gonna be out. It just says that there's gonna be a lot of people laid off, but maybe all the commotion, everything that happened to it, maybe it keeps it. But I don't know. I just hope it doesn't go, because it's just something so, like, kind of vintage. It's just always there. It's like iconic covers.
Yeah, and I'm the same way too. Like, I think I remember, like, almost like it was like one of my Christmas gifts was getting a Sports Illustrated like subscription, right? And so I remember like always like getting the magazines like every month. It was sweet, like, reading the stories and all that stuff. And you're right, like some of those like early sports memories of mine are those like Sports Illustrated covers. Like, I think whenever I really became a Rangers fan was like, back when we had, I think it was like 2010 when Josh Hamilton was going crazy, right? And I remember the Sports Illustrated cover that that they had of Josh Hamilton, just like stuff like that it's like formative, at least for us, of our like sports fandom and all of that. So it definitely sucks, obviously, right? Like with new media and stuff like podcasts and Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and social media and stuff like that. Like, obviously print like media is kind of going not out of business, but it's just like it's taking a big hit. And like
true.
It sucks because
it's
kind of like the way of the times, but still, I mean, that's not to say, and I know you and I aren't the only ones too, like Sports Illustrated was just so formative, and from our generation, our years of just seeing those covers and reading those stories, it's something that was comforting and definitely sad to see go. And hopefully it's not gone forever and just temporary pause until they can figure something else out.
Yeah, I hope so too, because like you said, it's a big part for a lot of us. And even like kids nowadays, maybe that they're just starting just like us, how it was before. Yep. Being realistic, I mean, everything you can read now is on your phone.
Yeah.
You even get like electronic magazines now, like you get an e-subscription. When was the last time you got a magazine delivered to your house?
None intentionally, I'll tell you that much.
Huh?
None intentionally.
Well, yeah, exactly. At least intentionally subscribe to that.
None.
Yeah, and then it's tough. It's tough because like you see where it's coming from. Like maybe you just can't afford it anymore. It's just like we're losing money doing it.
Yep.
Let's hope that's not the case, and maybe this just kind of spikes I bet it does spike up a bunch for Sports Illustrated stuff for sure if they think it's going to go away. So, yeah.
Yes, and then now moving on to the final story of the big three is a little golf. Kind of branching out a little something like that. So Nick Dunlap. If you've never heard the name, understandable because I didn't hear of him, and I'm pretty sure Ollie didn't hear of him until today.
Nope.
But he is a college sophomore at the University of Alabama, and he is only the fifth amateur to win a PGA Tour event since 1950. Unfortunately, because he is an amateur and still a college athlete, he loses out on the $1.5 million prize that comes with winning the event. So now I want to say that he had an opportunity to go to the Farmers Insurance Open, which was this week, and he was already scheduled to play as an amateur, but unfortunately, or not unfortunately, he ended up deciding to withdraw from the event to basically think about should he go pro. Now the pro, I think because he won a PGA Tour event, he's automatically qualified, automatically has a PGA Tour membership, or he has his PGA Tour card up until 2026, and then he's automatically qualified into the big tournament. So U.S. Open, Masters, the Open, all that stuff.
That's crazy.
It's crazy to me. I mean, this kid's 19 or 20, and
20.
You know,
yeah.
it sucks, but like he shot 29 under over the course of 4 rounds. And I want to say his final round was 2 under. So he was 27 under through 3 rounds. So, which is crazy to think about. But I know there was in the ESPN story that they wrote about it. There were some cool quotes that he was kind of already he's been balling lately apparently, and all of his teammates have been saying that hey, you should go pro. Like we've been telling you for months to go pro. You're absolutely a top 50 golfer in the world.
Damn.
And it's kind of and he's kind of been showing it in other events where he's just playing really, really well and really good golf. And so obviously it pays off. I mean, he just won that PGA Tour event, automatically has a PGA Tour card. So yeah, pretty crazy. Just a fun story and something that we could all wish to accomplish.
Right. All of us would just wish we could shoot 29 under par, right?
Yeah, I know, right? It'd be absolutely insane.
Yeah, I saw this tweet, or obviously I saw the tweet of him making his last putt, and the very first comment is, "Oh man, look at him! He just won, but he can't even celebrate with a drink a pint of beer or something like that." And there's those half and half comments where it goes, "Bro, you don't need beer to have fun," and the other one's like, "Man, fuck off! Let him have a joke. He just can't drink beer yet. It's crazy. Yeah, come on, it is crazy to think about."
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Just one of the intricacies of golf. I know I think it was the Masters maybe this past year, there was an amateur that was up there in the standings, and he was top 10 or top 20, and same kind of deal. I mean, placing in the Masters that high, and couldn't take any of the money home. But I mean, obviously, it's a little bit different when you win a tournament in general. So still crazy, but hopefully he goes pro, makes that money, man.
Yeah. How would you feel? Let's say you're a sophomore in college, right? You're golfing.
Oh,
and you're into this tournament.
I would take that shit instantly.
But you can't take the money. How it's it's tough to. I mean, world is cruel. You say whatever you want about money. You have your own opinion on it. But losing out at 1.5, it should. You won it. You won it fair and square.
Yeah, it's tough.
But you can't have it.
I would if I was in the race for the lead after Saturday, I would have tried to file my professional status Saturday night after round 3 and then going into Sunday.
Oh,
but I think even though after the round, I mean, I probably say that I would have just gone ahead and filed to be professional. I mean, they said there was his coach was he wanted to come here, and he's been an Alabama fan since the day he was born and all this stuff, and he wanted to win the SEC championship and a national championship as a Alabama player and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, man, you have a full chance to be on the tour. You can make money. You're clearly good enough to win a tournament. So do it. I mean, what is college gonna do for you? At that point. But anyway, that's the big 3. One little bonus story that just kind of happened. Haven't even told you about this, but Joel Embiid just scored 70. 70 points in a game, which is unreal against the Spurs. His stat line was 70 points, 18 boards, and 5 assists on 24 of 41 shooting. And take a guess on his free throws.
Oh my God, 24 free throws.
21 of 23. But it's funny because I want to say prior to the game, Popovich had said that they were gonna lock Embiid down, and then he goes out and scores 70, which is
I think he's done that multiple times. I think he said that to Luka one time too. I think Luka went on and dropped like 40 or 50.
He dropped 50. Yeah, he dropped 50.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's the big three. So I think at least for now, up until I don't know, probably baseball's in full swing, and the Mavs are getting ready close to playoffs. That's probably going to be around, which would be cool. So, moving along to our last topic, because I think we got some time, is the Mavs, which currently are playing the Boston Celtics. They have a record of 24-18. They are finally starting to get healthy and all that stuff, which is cool. But they're currently down 11 as we're recording to the Celtics. So,
yeah,
hopefully they can come back.
They gave up 41 in the second quarter.
Yeesh. That's not ideal.
There's already 2 players with 20 points. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Make Jaylen Brown go left. He can't dribble. Yeah, just bad. Looks like a bad shooting night from everybody except for Tim, which is what's new.
Like it's hot. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are kind of getting close to the trade deadline, and I saw some reports today of the Mavs like wish list since they missed out on Pascal Siakam, which looking on what the Raptors got for Pascal, I'm not really surprised because it looked like I think they got 2 players plus 3 first-round picks, which the Mavs, unfortunately, because the Kristaps trade. No shot. Yeah, because the Kristaps trade, and then because of Kyrie, we just don't have any picks, is what it is. So here are the 6 players that were listed as the Mavs wish list. So first was Jeremy Grant, Kyle Kuzma, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, Isaiah Stewart, and then Chris Boucher. Jeremy Grant and Kyle Kuzma are kind of like the marquee options. I think they're both like small forward, power forward types, both averaging just a tick under 22 points. Kuzma has a little bit better supporting stats at just over 4 assists and then like 6.5 rebounds. He is shooting pretty worse. Like he's definitely shooting worse than Jeremy Grant, but a more team friendly contract at 4 years, $90 million. With a declining contract, which is nice, versus 5 years, $160. And then Daniel Gafford would be a little bit of center help. Same with Isaiah Stewart and Chris Boucher. And then PJ Washington kind of being the same mold as Jeremy Grant and Kyle Kuzma, I think. A little bit more of a power forward type than a small forward, though. So, for you, who kind of moves the needle? Who, like on the Mavs side, do you think would make the most sense? And then what do you think a realistic package is for those guys?
I mentioned it before. I love me some Kyle Kuzma. I think he's such a threat, shooting threat, and just his height. I mean, 6.5 rebounds is massive too. I know he crushes it in the boards usually on Prize Picks lines, so that's my guy. Bet. So I like Kyle Kuzma. Also like Jeremy Grant. I mean, they kind of average the same points, which is nice. But yeah, man, Jeremy Grant has a huge contract, and then Kuzma's a little obviously cheaper.
Yeah, if I were to say, I'd probably go with Kuz. I think you're right too, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously they're both on bad teams. I mean, Jeremy Grant plays for Portland, and then Kuz plays for Washington. So neither of them are good teams. And obviously they're taking on a little bit more of a scoring presence than they would with the Mavs with Luke and Kyrie. But I think that for me the big difference is the contract. I mean, you have 5 years for $160. I mean, that's an additional $70 million that you're paying for Jeremy Grant for a guy that's, I think he's a little bit older. He's not really a good defender either. So, I mean, I'd rather have Kuzma. I think especially the declining contract is nice. I think it was kind of similar with Tim Hardaway with his last contract too. So, would definitely be interested in him. I know Daniel Gafford too is a interesting option at center. I mean, he's not really a shooter, but I mean, 10.5 points with 7.5 rebounds. I mean, 3 years for $40 million, it's roughly like what Davis Bertans was making, a little less than that. So I think that's a good option too. They're both on the Wizards. I think it would be tough to get them both in a package without giving up multiple first-round picks. So maybe we get somebody like Isaiah Stewart from the Pistons. I know we talked about him a couple episodes ago. Fun fact, his name is Beef Stew. His nickname is Beef Stew, which I think is a fun nickname. He was also the guy that was trying to fight LeBron in that one thing, so that one little scuffle.
Yeah, it's funny.
But he's also on an expiring deal. He's on his last year of his rookie deal, so we'd either have to find a way to get him extended or just kind of take a risk on the fact that we wouldn't be able to keep him.
The rental.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I would like to see Kuzma for sure. I mean, I think adding somebody like Kyle Kuzma would be a great addition. It would be fun too, in my opinion, because you have him. Like he's always active on Twitter, so to have him as like a big social media presence, yeah, he's a character. I mean, obviously, right? Kyrie's a character. I mean, Luka's got braids right now. He's a character too. So
yeah,
I think it'd be fun. As long as we, I don't know. I mean, what's too much to give up? I mean, would you give up Tim and Jaden Hardy if you didn't have to give up a first?
For Kyle Kuzma, yes.
Yeah, I think that's probably valid. Yeah, I think it was maybe Tim and Jaden Hardy or somebody of that nature.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that because Tim, he's such a streaky guy, dude. He can get real hard, real cold, and he really relies on that 3-ball. And if you're watching games in and out, I haven't watched every single game, but when I do, I watch I think more games than a regular person. But he has terrible shot selection. He can make some tough ass shots. But he just chunks it up, dude, and prays.
It doesn't matter if the Mavs are up by 30 or if they're down by 30. That man is going to shoot. He's the epitome of, I'd rather be 0 of 30 than 0 of 9 because 0 of 9 means to stop shooting. Like, just
that's
the absolute
him.
epitome.
That's him.
Him.
He won't stop.
So, he's just frustrating as a player.
I wouldn't mind, with that Timmy and Jaden Hardy. I think that it will hurt a little bit if you see him go, and you see him succeed. But if you take him to a young team like I said, that's sort of young team. He's already young. He gets a lot of minutes. You're helping him develop. I mean, because even here, he plays a little bit in the first quarter, but I think maybe when everyone's healthy, averages
he got 1 minute,
5 to 10 minutes. I was about to say, I saw the minutes. It's in that like downtime of like Kyrie and Luka, where Luka goes out in the first quarter, and he still only has 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute, single minute.
Yeah, he probably won't come back. He probably won't come back in unless it looks like it's almost going to be a blowout at this point. But he might come in later. But honestly, we're not using him, so I think Jaden Hardy should be in the market, and he's definitely shown. I mean, there was that him and Josh Green game last year where they both went for 30.
Yeah, it was unreal.
When Luka and Kyrie were out, or just like that, no one was playing. They just went off. So I definitely see the potential. It's going to suck that you're going to see him probably succeed in a different team, but he's a peacock. You got to let him use his wings, and I think he will at another team. So I don't think that you should, if you're Jason Kidd or Nico Harrison and you see it and you go, I can't let go of Jaden Hardy. And say, dude, I don't think realistically, when are you going to see him play?
You're not.
Yeah, you're not. So I think he should definitely be part of a trade package.
Yeah, of other guards that play before him, you have Dante Exum.
That's not healthy.
That's not healthy. Tim Hardaway's played, so that's 2 guards that have played before him. Josh Green's a shooting guard too, technically, if you really want to get down to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just have guards that are ahead of him, and it sucks. Kind of is what it is because he's promising, and I think he has some good potential, but just like there's kind of just the way that the team's kind of constructed. There's just a logjam. So. Yeah, I think he's got to be on the market, and I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I think realistically, we're probably going to go for a guy like Chris Boucher, dude, if I'm being honest. That's what we're going to get.
Stinky.
That's what we're going to get, dude. That's what we're going to get.
They said that they're going to make a move, so we'll see. I don't know. I hope not. There was somebody else. Herb Jones, I think, has been linked with us. And then...
plays on the Pelicans?
Yeah, he plays for the Pels.
Okay.
And there's somebody else that's been linked. There's somebody else that's been linked with us. That's a pretty good player. I think he was on. Somebody on the Magic has been linked with us as well. I don't remember who it is, but that's a pretty good player. So who knows, man? We still got about a month, I think, until the trade deadline. Maybe 3-4 weeks.
Yeah,
something of that nature.
Sense. I think that sounds reasonable.
That sounds reasonable. And then the last thing that I got on the Mavs was just some pretty cool stats. I don't know if you on ESPN they wrote an article about Kyrie and Luka's fit and just kind of how that's gone. So one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting in the article was that the Mavs this season are 14-5 in clutch games. Clutch game is defined as any game with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter or overtime. That's a 5-point game or less. This season the Mavs are 14-5, which I feel like you wouldn't really expect that the Mavs have kind of been clutch this year. But when Kyrie is in the lineup, they are 9-1 in those games. It just shows that, like, I think it was their very first game that we got Kyrie, when it was Kyrie and Luka, and they just kind of had that whole like messy situation where they were just basically passing the ball back and forth. Kyrie ends up turning the ball over, they lose a game. It kind of shows that like that chemistry between the two of them just like really just needed to be built. And I mean, now you see it, like, it's in closing time, it's working.
Yeah.
Kyrie has 44 points in 36 minutes of clutch time this year, which is awesome. And I think that it's promising. And I think whenever it comes to the playoffs, assuming that we get in and hopefully have a good series, like, nobody really is going to want to play us, because I mean, you have two number one options. So that's what I'm thinking. I thought it was just interesting, and you know, I mean, it just kind of shows to me that, like, you get somebody like a Kyle Kuzma, or you get somebody that can be that third option whenever, you know, Luka's not clicking or Kyrie's not clicking. So
yeah,
definitely good, and you know, hopefully they make a move and they're able to kind of do something with it.
Yeah, they always mention on the broadcast like them being so good in the clutch, which is definitely a step in the right direction, because a couple years ago we were terrible in the clutch. Like, we were losing so many games because we couldn't close games out. We really didn't have a free throw shooter, and now you have Kyrie. So, like, if you're playing, like, fouling the foul game, Kyrie's going to be the one to foul, obviously, because he's one of the best free throw shooters in the league. And even then, you're saying, like, the chemistry thing, like, Luka and Kyrie still haven't played that many games together, if you think about it.
No, they haven't.
I mean, this year, when Kyrie got that ankle or that contusion or whatever, he was out for a while, came back, and then Luka was hurt for a little bit with that ankle. Missed, 3 to something games. So they're just now starting to get healthy again. And even then Dante Exum got hurt. So, yeah. I mean,
I think that they've only played half the games this season together, which, yeah, I mean, it just shows, like, you know, once they get healthy and get that chemistry, I think it's going to be good. So,
yeah.
Got any final thoughts or anything like that? It's pretty short little episode. But that's, you know, not a ton of stuff going on right now.
Yeah, nothing crazy. I'll throw in one thing for us Ranger fans. Aroldis Chapman, World Series winner, 2-time World Series winner, signed with the Pirates. That was very random.
Yeah, crazy.
Very random. I think it was the Mets the Mets were interested in him and Hector Neris today. I saw the notification, and then just I don't know where it said Pirates for $10.5 million for a year is wholly overpay, because I think he was kind of projected around the $6-8 million range. But yeah, I mean, we all know what's going to happen. It's going to be just like Kansas City. If you figure out Kansas City has all those players on their team, the pitchers, they're going to hopefully hoop because they're not in high leverage situations with not a lot of fans. And you're just going to trade them and get something.
Trade him.
Yeah, a rental.
And return.
He might even. I would not be surprised if the Rangers were to trade for him, if I'm being honest, depending on how his year's going.
Trade for him back. Bring him back.
Yeah, it might happen. So that's my last thing for today, that Aroldis Chapman signed for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He is going with his former teammate, also World Series champion, Martin Perez.
Ah, yes. I forgot about that. I did forget about that.
So, yeah.
But yeah, guys, that's another episode of Austin Ollie Sports Podcast. Definitely less ranty than we were last week. Not as hot-headed. I think we're a little more calm than we were. So, for better or for worse, I don't know if it makes for better listening or not. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. Obviously, we kind of said at the beginning of your podcast, but every subscription helps, every like helps. Share it with your friends. So, you know, subscribe, rate 5 stars on, you know, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe, help us get out into the algorithm a little bit more. We've been trying to post, you know, on YouTube Shorts and Reels and TikTok and all that stuff. So definitely helps. So check us out on all that stuff. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.